That's because I'm saying the name. So I got this Facebook message. You ever get a Facebook message from somebody like from high school or something? They're like, well, hey, we drifted apart. And you're like, I know, we did it on purpose. Why are you ruining what we've built up for so long? So wrote me and she goes, Ari, I noticed you have a lot of Twitter followers and Facebook friends, and I'm in some online contest to win a trip to the Super Bowl. And if you tell them all to vote for me in this online contest, I could win this trip to the Super Bowl. And my first thought was, go fuck yourself. I barely even know you, no fucking way. But since I barely knew her, I felt super obligated to do everything she asked of me. You know that weird dynamic where like if your best friend asks you for a ride to the airport, your best friend, you can be like, you can get a ride to lick my asshole. There's a shuttle leaving every 4 minutes, right there. Just cut it under there, it needs licking. But no, I'll never take you to the airport. You can go fuck yourself. Eat a plate of shit. I'd rather watch you eat a plate of shit than ever take you to the airport. In fact, you know what? Now, if I happen to see you at the airport, I'm gonna punch you in the dick. So you associate me and the airport with bad thoughts together. That's your best friend. Like, if somebody you met at work like a month ago, if they ask for a ride to the airport, then it's super uncomfortable. I didn't say no to that. It's always like, you think of any excuse possible. You're like, you know, I work nights. Oh, it's a daytime thing? I guess we're going to the airport. I guess there's no way around it. So I didn't know if I should say yes or no. So here's what I thought. I thought that I'll look back to when I liked her the most, and if I would do it for that person, then I would still help her. I'll tell everybody to fucking vote for her in this online contest. And so when I liked her the most was 9th grade. She was the hottest girl in my 9th grade class. Like by far the hottest one. She always wore a mini skirt, which to an all-Jewish school meant she wore it like right on the line. That was as low as you allowed to go. Most girls wore it sock or below. Not this slut. Rocking some knee at 13. She was so fucking hot, man. That was as high as you were allowed, too. We had this rule where if a rabbi saw a girl in a miniskirt, he would just yell out the word knees. He'd just go, knees! And she would have to get on her knees in front of the rabbi. It's not sexual, you guys. It's not a Catholic school. It's a Jewish school. Relax. What? Oh. Who's still Catholic, by the way? Enough. What else are you waiting for? Like, what other sign do you need to not be Catholic anymore? I'm not saying don't be Christian. You can keep being Christian, but just join another Jesus club. There's like 30 different Jesus clubs, right? They're all pretty much the same shit. Love Jesus and hate the Jews, right? Is that pretty much? Except one of the clubs loves to rape children. Totally don't be part of that club anymore. And if you're like, oh, are you just hearing about this right now? Am I breaking the news to you? Yeah, it's been going on for a while. If you're like, months? Even longer than that. Like 1,500 years, continuous child rape. It's totally trending. Be Protestant, be Methodist, whatever. Don't be Mormon, obviously not, but like, be one of the other ones. My friend Steve, he's a Catholic, and I tell him this all the time. I'm like, dude, you got it. And he goes, Ari, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But he goes, you have to understand, tradition is really important to me. And my grandfather was raped here, and I want one day all right. Anyway, it was nothing sexual. Our rule was if they were on the ground and their skirt didn't touch the ground, it was considered immodest. It was a half-day suspension. See the difference there between the two religions? It's like real tight. On one hand, you have a half-day suspension. Nobody wants that. Okay, so anyway, she would sit in the front of her class with her skirt on, and she would let it right up to about there. And I would just sit in the back, just staring at her with a boner in my chin. And these weird feelings I didn't understand. I was just like, I liked her, man. She was hot. I liked her. So we had this math class taught by this guy named Mr. Sager. And Mr. Sager was that one teacher, you know that one teacher that everybody has that just nobody respected? You know, like everybody just knew. First day of class, everybody just knew. You just looked at each other, all the kids, and non-verbally, they would just be like, with their minds, they'd be like, we're gonna fuck with him until he quits, right? I mean, it's obvious. Mr. Sager, the only thing he did wrong, he had a deep voice and a little bit of a lisp. That was it. He'd be like, the x-axis meets the y-axis. And we're like, oh, yeah, you're fucked. How dare you try to teach children? So one day, Mr. Sager, he was turned around. He was writing on the chalkboard, and like this. And I figured out if you take a rubber band, if you tie it around your fingers, if you then take a half a paper clip, if you hook it on the rubber band and pull back, you've got a weapon. You've got a gun. It's as close as the Jews got to gang violence. Like, this was it. And I was pointing it at Mr. Sager. I was never going to do anything. I was just pointing it at him, trying to get attention. You know, like, woo, look at me. Class clown. I'm not learning. And just being a badass. But then as I was doing it, my fingers, they started getting real sweaty. So it was like getting hard to hold on to the paperclip. And I was pointing it right at Mr. Sager. And I was like, oh, this is bad. And I didn't know what to do. And if I knew anything at all about tensile strength, I would have realized, like, oh, I can just do that. And then it's not a problem at all anymore. Completely negated, just like that. It's over. But that was the lesson I was missing on the chalkboard right then. So I was like, I don't know how to handle the situation. And math is stupid, by the way. And so I thought, maybe, do you go away from the target? Does that make sense? Yeah. And as soon as that, I was like, nope, that's wrong. And I couldn't hold on anymore. And the paperclip, it shot out of my fingers and went right at Mr. Sager. No arc at all, like a straight line through the air. It made that noise. You know, like, like it made that. And it hit him. It hit him right in the back of the head, right where the ear meets the head. It hit him like right there. And it drew a little bead of blood. Yeah, sick shot, right? We're talking back of the classroom, trying not to let go. Never miss a target. So Mr. Sager, he goes, oh, who did that? And he starts to turn around, and he looks at the class, and you know the rule, you know the code of conduct in high school. Nobody ever rats on anybody. So nobody's gonna say a word, nobody's gonna talk about it. But then Mr. Sager, he starts upping it. He starts going, if nobody tells me who did that, nobody's leaving this class. You'll all be late for your next class. And all these little Juliet kids, they start thinking, I could see them murmuring to each other, like they're like, wait, if I get a tardy on my record, am I not getting to Harvard Business School? Like, they start wondering, like, I don't know Ari that well. Do you know him? I'm not even friends with him. I never played football with him. Why would I even suffer for him? And then this kike Heeb. I think that's my favorite line in all of comedy. She raised her hand up, and she goes, Ari did it. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I got sent to the principal's office. I got suspended for 5 days. No, I should have been, dude. You can't shoot a teacher in the face and get away with that. You gotta set a precedent down. It was the worst trouble I've ever gotten in, though. My parents thought I was a bad kid after that. They made me see a therapist for like 2 years. The whole time, I was like, my fingers got sweaty. That's all that happened. Anyway, 22 years later, I got a Facebook message from saying, can you help me win a trip to the Super Bowl? And I just wrote back, why don't you ask Mr. Sager for help? It felt so good. Here's what I do to pass time in my free time. I like to go to UFC events. My friend gets me free tickets. He works for them. So as a Jew, that's the exact right price that I'm willing to pay every single time. Any event, really. It doesn't matter. Be like, hey, I got 2 tickets. I'm like, stop right there. Because I'm in. So I go to these UFC events, these cage fighting things. And if you ever watch them on TV, it lasts like 2 or 3 hours. But if you actually go to one of them, it's like 6.5 hours long. And that's way too long not to be fucked up. And beer costs so much of those things. So I figured out that you could just take drugs. And you could smuggle them inside your system. So I've taken all sorts of stuff. I've taken ecstasy before, and mushrooms there, and acid. That was probably the best one. And pot cookies. I've taken those. Those are my normal ones, just pot cookies. So I want to talk about pot cookies for a second. Here's the thing with certain types of drugs. Alcohol, weed, it's not that hard. Like you smoke it or you take a shot. Within 5 minutes, you know how fucked up you're gonna get off that thing. But some drugs takes like an hour to kick in. And by then, it's too late. This ride is already in motion. Fucking things have come down, you're in, so is that holy grail of drug use is taking the exact right amount. That's so hard to get, because if you take too much, you're fucked. If you don't take enough, that's the worst thing that can happen to you. The worst possible scenario on drugs is that you don't get fucked up. So you gotta figure out how much it takes. So what I would say is, no matter what people tell you to take like 8% extra. You wanna make sure. So I took this pot cookie at this UFC fight one time, and you ever start like getting higher and higher on a pot cookie? Like you start blasting off. You know, you have like a range in mind from here to here, and then you just go like boom, boom, and you're like still going up. Just fucking shooting through the ceiling like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, you know, in the elevator, and it goes right through the top. Where I was always like, why do you make the ceiling out of glass if the elevator can do that? It's just a poor design from an engineering standpoint, but whatever. So I was doing that. I was sitting in my chair at this UFC, fucking flying, just sitting there enjoying it like this. My friend kept turning to me every once in a while. She'd be like, good fights, right? And I go, like, this is not my first time. I'm not gonna fuck up. You gotta do better than that if you're gonna try to trick me. Every like hour she'd say something, I just mutter back at her like, I'm just too good at this. But then after like 3 hours, she goes, hey, do you want to go get some snacks from concession? And I go, fuck yes! How did you know that? How did you know that? That's exactly what I want to do. You're in my mind right now. So I'm like, let's go to concession. So we stood up, it was like 3 steps up to the main level. And here's the thing. There's a different level of fucked up, no matter what you're on. Alcohol, drugs, there's a different level from when you're sitting to when you're standing. And you think those two things would be related, but they're completely not related. Like when you're sitting down, you're like, okay, that was pretty bad there for a while. I think I'm coasting now. I think we're okay. I was close to barfing. When you're like this, you're like, that's always a sign. If you ever see somebody doing that at a bar, just going like this, just move away from that person immediately. So you're like, okay, I think I'm good now. It's been like an hour. I'm in control. Yeah, I'm in control. Let's do this. And you stand up. You're like, oh, fuck no. I'm not in control at all. The drug is in control. It was getting really bad. To the point where I had to have a talk with myself in my brain. Like a full discussion. That's when you know shit's going bad. When your brain says, Ari, I need to talk to you for a minute. I was like, what? What's happening, brain? What's the matter? Because I stood up, we went right out to the front line. We got right into the concession line. It was like right after a fight, so it was like perfect timing. We got in, people got in behind me. I started getting real lightheaded. My brain's like, let me tell you something. And I was like, what do you have to tell me? Like, you only give me bad news. Is everything totally cool? And brain was like, listen, Ari, here's what's going to happen. You're going to pass out. And I was like, what? No fucking way! No, I'm not doing that in a concession line at a UFC. No, I'm not doing that. We gotta be another option. We gotta figure something else out. We're not fucking passing out right here. No, no. And my brain was like, shh. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Listen, fighting it, that's not gonna help. You're going to pass out. So let me prepare you. And I was like, all right, cool, I guess. What am I gonna do? So my brain was like, you're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna wake up in about 25 seconds on the floor. And there's gonna be a bunch of people staring at you. And you're probably gonna feel really, really embarrassed. I want you to get up and walk away rapidly. And I was like, all right, I can handle that. If that's my future, that's not so bad. I can deal with that. So I'm in this concession line, just getting, like, everything's getting real light. Like just getting like real I don't know if you guys have ever passed out before. You don't black out. I'm not trying to be racist, but you don't black out. Everything gets white and you white out, and then you start sweating. Like I'm sitting there, it's getting whiter and whiter. Everything's like pouring sweat. My t-shirt's like soaked, and then the last thing to go is your hearing. It just starts ringing. It starts going like that. So I could barely hear anything. I could barely see. I'm starting to go, and then right before I completely shut off, the last guy in the concession line got his stuff, and he left. So it was just me and the counter. And so I just lunged at the counter and put my hand on it, and then I locked my elbow, and then I just went out. I was just like, I can't see, I can't hear, I don't know what's up or down. Every part of my body is asleep, every part, except my elbow. That's the only thing keeping it all together. My elbow's like Frodo Baggins' buddy. You're like, I'll take it from here, sir, and pretend this isn't about homosexuality. So I'm like this for really like 20, 25 seconds until the first thing that started coming back is my hearing. It was like the ringing stopped, and the first thing I hear was a guy behind the concession stand just going, "Sir, what can I get you?" I was just like, "You can get me like 1 minute. That's what I need first." Woo! And then I was able to like slowly get my footing, and like the sweating started to like slow down. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, now like 4 popcorns and 6 Reese's Pieces immediately, and then we'll start talking. And I was able to like completely come back, and I was like, whoa. And then I looked over at my friend, and my friend was just standing next to me, just going like this, like. And I was like, what? And she goes, what? No, you don't get to ask that. Like you didn't do anything out of the ordinary there. What the fuck was that? Because she didn't even know I had taken anything. So to her, for the last 3 hours, I had just been boring. And then I got to the front of the concession line and started doing the Twizzler dance out of nowhere. She's like, what was that? And I was like, that was someone who just took the right amount of drugs. That's what that was.